5 seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. OG's turn to ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome back again to DAC 2017 Group A. We're here in game number 2 of OG, facing off against Team Empire. I'm Lyrical, going to be joined as well by the lovely, the wonderful Capitalist.
That's
Sir,
me.
how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Real good. This game 1 was not a stomp. You know, that's what I was really happy about. We got to see a meepo from Team Empire. Apparently OG are like, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it. Do it. I dare you.
Make our day.
Yeah, so maybe we'll see another meepo from Team Empire. I don't think they should be too discouraged by that game 1. Like, I think they still could have won that game. So I'd be down to see another meepo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it, Team Empire.
Are OG going to do it? Is that the answer? That's the question I got now.
All right. Maybe.
I feel like you don't need to. If you give all 5 picks to counterpick a meepo, at some point, something's got to give a little bit. And that's something else to mention is that OG built their draft to answer the meepo that you kind of knew was coming from the start, and they had good picks for it.
Meepo takes up like too much space to like he takes too much different Empire special. Empire have been a really big fan of a lot of these physical damage dealers, Ursa, Troll, SF. Something about physical damage and minus armor, it really just seems to hit him right in that sweet spot.
I mean, it's pretty good stuff, and we've seen King R go off on this rubric in the past. I think back to all the way back to that ESO1 Manila series where he was just made like the top 10 of ESPN or something as well at that point. It's pretty cool. So he's definitely well known for this hero, and you mentioned the physical damage was a troll picked as well. OG going to go back for the Visage ever since Fly. I think it was yesterday when he played this and he got like an immense amount of farm. He never gets that much farm on any hero, so I feel like he's just he's been enjoying the Visage for himself.
They need to stop giving Visage to OG. Like, teams in general need to stop doing it because it is like, I thought Visage was a hero. Like, going into this tournament, I was like, Visage is going to make the big comeback after 7.04 buffed him up a little bit. I was like, yep, Visage is back, baby, and OG are definitely cementing that in the meta, I think.
And OG, to me, have looked like the team that has been the most consistent. Granted, some of that could have been the way that the groups have played out, but also across the games, there haven't been ones where I felt like they've underplayed their position, or times where they've really, played badly. And maybe some of it is the boot camping they've done in this area beforehand, gain a little bit of background on what the meta's looking like. But all in all, they've looked like the most consistently good team out of the groups to me.
I actually think that last game was probably OG's weakest.
Yeah.
I feel there was that one fight by the Radiant Secret Shop that, turned into basically a team wipe because OG couldn't stop that save a friend syndrome is what I refer to it, one person goes in and you're like, oh, I'll help you, buddy, and then the other person's like, oh, I'll help you, buddy, and then it just comes to the line. OG OG kind of fell into that trap and gave a little bit too much to Empire, but every other game they've looked super clean, very little mistakes.
I think that it's just also at that point it was when they were starting to really make that comeback, so it feels even maybe a little bit worse than it could have actually been too, because they'd been able to claw their way back into the series after coming down to a Meepo, and now sort of giving that lead away. But then it didn't end up mattering in the end anyways. So, still no ban of the Meepo. It's something that you have to keep in the back of your mind at a certain point for OG. Do you think it's worth banning it? Troll with Meepo?
It depends on what their ideas are for what they want to pick up. Because if they keep picking up heroes that are strong team fighters and can deal with Meepo, I would say both Centaur and Visage are, very good versus Meepo. If they keep picking up those type of heroes, then no, they don't need to. I don't really see any reason not to go down that route. Troll, Warlord. I feel like he operates some of the same spaces that Meepo does. He's another Roshan hero. It seems that is one of the things, is that Team Empire like to orient themselves around Roshan a lot. Troll, Meepo, Ursa, those heroes that we mentioned earlier. So OG in that case, they should have a lot of incentive to just focus on team fight and controlling the Roshan pit and not giving Team Empire too much space.
Maybe, I don't know, even heroes that can help keep their eye on Roche with, maybe an Invoker play from Ana? Is that something that they could be looking towards? Do you think that's too slow in this type of a game?
No, Invoker's definitely fine. It'd be your fourth pick. I want to see a little bit more of the draft for... You already have a Vision hero, though, with Visage.
10 seconds remaining.
Your birds, so... I wouldn't worry too much about that. It's funny, Monkey King has actually gone through this whole entire draft untouched. Miposhka, it was not a good Meepo, or it was not a good Monkey King rep. He did not accomplish anything in the laning phase, and a little bit of that is his fault, but a lot more of that was OG drafting just very strong lanes. They set up these dual lane scenarios where it was hard for Monkey King to find an in.
And he had been playing a really good one leading up to this too, as far as moving in, getting early courier kills at the early stages of the game. We saw, I think, some innovative plays from him later on. It might have, there's been a lot of great Monkey King performances, so the ones that don't stand out feel like they kind of just fall by the wayside when you're not making those. But in the meantime, Empire figuring out what they want to go with the third pick. Maybe another safe lane hero that benefits from that, or rather mid lane hero that benefits from the attack speed. Do you like Troll more in the mid or the safe lane at this patch? I think I've seen both while I've been here.
I think I like it better safe lane, though it is a suitable mid depending on the matchup. I just like that Troll shoves out offlaners a lot better. While Troll just kind of gets by as a mid laner, but it's a waste not being able to utilize. What is this? Are they going an OD fourth pick? Sniper, OD? There's no way you pick up Troll and Ogre without Sniper or OD on the brain.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what other cores would take advantage of this double attack speed draft they've got themselves into.
Yeah, it's really strange. It feels like it. I mean, could it be Meepo with the Ogre doesn't sound good at all. No, they don't want to go back for that. OD sounds pretty decent, although if they do that, then OG can go back for the Sniper in the fourth pick. Then you kind of counter that out also. Medusa?
Yeah.
Team Empire style, though.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that, though I think it does lead towards a style that I want Empire to start going towards. I think they're not as quite as fast as some other teams, but I think that's okay. You just have to adjust your drafting to that. I think I would like to see them play what I said earlier on I think the panel was, I want to see them play more of an NP style. Get yourself the better late game heroes, let the enemy team crash into you, and do so is very much fits into that kind of idea where, you've got Centaur, War Runner, these sort of things, just let them run in. But Right now, it's a bit too much team fight, maybe for Dusa. You need an effective hero that's effective a little bit faster. Kunkka.
Well, let's think about it. It's got, I guess, very good momentum. You can stay in the fights and you can go TP back if you are able to build a lead. Ghost Ship's amazing. I guess it's going to be a roaming Kunkka, I would imagine. Does stay in lane? I don't know. It is very strange.
Yeah, it's weird. Kunkka is support that's in an awkward place right now. As a melee support, most other 4 positions can accomplish a lot more than you. Look at Earth Spirit, right? Accomplishes a lot in the early game. Even Ogre Magi is more of a presence in the laning phase. Got Slardar, Sand Kings, better rotational heroes, have big splashy initiations, whereas Kunkka's kind of this slower build-up, X into more, and you're able to play very reactively around that. Fast Blink Crush, even if you have the right items, you may not have the reaction time to be able to deal with that initiation. So there's the Invoker for OG.
I mean, if I'm looking at this setup, you've got Hoof Stomp into a follow-up Torrent, which could be nice. Maybe they try and run some type of an aggro tri-lane with these 3 heroes. Pressure Team Empire.
Yeah, it could be.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, with Visage having Soul Assumption there, it's a lot of damage. That would mean that OG would probably need to pick up a very strong safe lane hero. Maybe something like going back for a Timbersaw. Oh, Timbersaw's already banned out.
OG's turn to ban.
Like the Lifestealer ban. Even though I actually like Troll versus Lifestealer, I do think Lifestealer, just like the EG matchup, right, where you said it's one of those heroes that even if you have the counters to it, it's still very effective. With the Lifestealer and all the team fight they would have had combined with the Centaur initiation, I think it would have been a very potent safe lane hero for OG. And it actually would have been the same exact idea that EG has with Lifestealer Invoker. They do ban away the OD, so that leaves Sniper. What else does that leave? Any other range? That leaves S. No, that's banned. No, that's banned as well.
No, yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Terrorblade? Luna? What?
Okay. You knew there was there's gonna be another shoe that drops. I think OG in many ways are being a little experimental right now, and they're gonna put a Kunkka to the test. But you also knew there was going to be the other shoe that drops. I was thinking like, are they gonna pick up a Tinker? And then Anna, has his Invoker. There is going to be the Meepo, so they still feel okay with the Meepo against OG's lineup. And
Hell is this game? I don't know.
I mean, was the Kunkka literally just to be like, go ahead, pick Meepo? Because X is very effective versus Meepo because he can't actually get out.
You sound a little bit not perplexed, but more concerned.
I am not. No, I shouldn't be so concerned about Team Empire's lineup because honestly, it's just like it is just execution for them.
Right.
That like it doesn't really matter too much what OG has if you can execute this lineup that they have. Troll with a Meepo, you get that Blink Dagger, you jump onto people, poof, 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 and even if he somehow, if some grace of God, he's not dead yet from the poof combination, then you just pop the Troll ultimate and these Meepos just go to work with their little jackhammers, peckering away at you. So, yeah.
One other thing to keep in mind here is you've got 2 different sources of damage mitigation with Centaur Ags eventually and Kunkka Rum buff.
Yep.
It will be
invulnerable heroes.
There you go.
What is it like? Is it 50% for Kokos Rum?
I think so. Yeah, 50%.
Yeah. So the old Centaur would have been 100% damage reduction. That's a vulnerable heroes game.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Dare to dream.
Yep.
I will say.
If only that's how it worked.
I know exactly. Sad day. It's like, double detection to double E. Can never get away. It's great stuff. So No Tail going to be playing the Arc Warden. This is a hero that's seen a lot of changes to the way that he's been played. Where do you feel like this hero is at right now? Do you like any particular item build or style of play from him? Is it still the same style of play?
It's a little bit more the same style of play. You're a bit more team fight heavy than split push as you used to be. But it's kind of similar. I think he's also less of a mid and more of a safe lane hero now.
Okay.
Small little adjustments. I'm sure No Tail will also have his own spin on it.
Right.
So we'll have to kind of see how it go. Because I'm sure he's going to be a lot more active than many other Arc Wardens.
And he has a couple of changes. Ended up getting an increase in his Spark Wraith damage at the level 25 talent, which is not going to be super relevant. But a bunch of changes to Flux to reduce the cast range of it. It scales up with levels, and I think that that's still something that you're probably going to want to max early, just to be able to have that presence in the laning stage. But the big one that changed, I believe, a patch or two ago was the increased sort of uptime of Tempest Double, where now it's around more often, but it lasts for less time, if I'm not mistaken, that's the way it works. Or they might have switched it around, but basically you're able to have it more often.
Yeah, I believe you are correct in that regard. It's definitely lower duration than you're on the money there. It does mean that you just can't like throw out this Tempest Double and should basically just sit in the fountain and farm with it a whole bunch. I think the downtime, even if it's up more often, I think the downtime is larger than it used to be.
Okay.
Whereas, before it was like you almost always had a Tempest Double and it was always farming and split pushing for you.
We'll see how it works. I remember thinking when I saw the changes that it would be like a good. It was good changes for support Arc Warden, but I don't know if that actually is ever going to be a thing, as Derek's trying to get aggressive here. Again, the boots early on for that Kunkka. How do you feel the lanes are going to sort of work out here? Is S4 going to be able to get enough farm against Troll Rubik?
Yeah. I don't think it's really a kill lane. You know, telekinesis into whirling axes and such, you just kind of like stomp and walk away. So he should be able to just approach the creep wave, pull a creep off, get the CS. He'll just kind of like repeat that over and over again and be able to do pretty well for himself. I'm more curious about how this tri-lane goes for OG, and I also have no idea what OG is going to be doing with this Arc Warden or this Kunkka. I don't have many answers here. Miracle.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Jarex will able to hit that torrent. They have another Spark Wraith that's going to get thrown out, purging and slowing them down. Jarex still very low. They do manage OG end up losing one, and now possibly going to be able to take him down. Tail in some trouble. They aren't going to be able to quite bring him down, though, and it looks like Ghostic trying to run away, has to dodge away from that Spark Wraith, as the torrent's not going to connect. King R in the bottom lane managed to find a kill onto S4. There is going to be the Purge, bringing him down, bringing him low, but Ghostic not going to fall.
So apparently I was wrong. They did have the firepower to be able to kill the Centaur. Here I thought he was going to be able to walk it off for the most part. That's pretty good. Empire get first blood. They also shut down S4 a little bit more. The Sand King was able to get out of that whole entire area. Now has his boots pretty early on, so that will give him a lot more credence to his laning phase. And then it's a similar situation in mid as last time, where Chappie's just going to be able to kind of farm away. Isn't really threatened by an Invoker too much.
Yeah, and if he needs to, you can send one of these back, heal back up after the fact, and go about your business. Ogre rotating back between top and bottom, or top and mid. Doesn't really have to stay in lane too much, although he does need to be a little bit careful at the very least, as Jarex going to be slowed down. Torrent going to connect. They get the Burrow Strike as the Torrent stun came through, but still in some trouble now. They're going to X-Ghostic, run away on Jarex. That is still going to be chased down by the Ogre, and it looks like they're going to be able to find a kill there. Ghostic also going to fall, so 1-for-1 exchange.
Yeah, this is still okay for Empire. Trading 1-for-1 in a 2 versus 3 scenario is not bad, especially given that you know King R and FN are being quite successful so far and keeping S4 down. As you can see, they're just chasing him all the way to the tower, lining up that damage. And it means FN will miss some CS here and there, but well worth it in order to zone S4 out of the lane entirely.
Definitely, and they're trying to get the pullback to push him to the other side of the river, which would have been a kill, but didn't quite work for them. Ana still having a decent time against the Meepos. A little bit of issues here and there. 19-3 versus 28-1, but some of that's going to be the jungle CS as well. Meepo continues to have a decent time. As far as looking at what the Invoker is trying to find, it's still just going to be like the passive laning stage and throwing out Sunstrikes whenever he gets an opportunity to.
Yeah, and this is going to be one of those opportunities at top right now.
And for the kill, Fly in trouble. Right clicks going through. They are going to be able to find that kill. Ogre soon to drop, though, is Jarek that picked up that kill and now turned on to Ghost Stick as well. The Flux not doing anything because he was standing next to those creeps and turns to try and kill it off. Is going to be able to get a couple of the caustic procs. Not quite enough to find the kill, though. Jarek survives. Oh, wow.
Got off Ghost Walk. Ana almost died to the gank of King R and Chappie. The whole entire time I was just like, where's the Sunstrike? You know, we just kind of set up this idea that they were going to be able to go on something and give Ana the extra Sunstrike kill, but it seemed like he was being pressured a bit with the Rubik rotating out of bottom lane. Always able to give a troll 1v1 because he always wins it. I don't think there's a single offlaner that actually wins against Troll. Even Sand King has some tough times just because there's so much diversity to Troll. You know, you can play the melee role against some heroes, you can play the range role on others. It's such a fun carry to play in 1v1s because you know you can always abuse the enemy.
That's good. And I mean, it's a hero that's seen a lot of change since his heyday where it was just a nightmare to play against. But still, if you get that nice start off there, you can still just roll over heroes. But again, Ghost Stick being pressured out of lane. Visage showing his potency as a zoning support, one of the best in the game. Jarek spots out Ogre, head off the other direction. And still a very passive laning stage. In spite of a couple of kills that are going on, it feels like it's flurry of excitement in the midst of farming wars going on.
Yeah, it's like mid and bottom are definitely the farming wars, right? And then it's top where there's this it's action that's happening. I do like the fact that Ghost Stick and Miposhka stick together so much. Looks like they found a kill on Jarek's. Huh? What? Meepo died to neutrals?
No. Jarek might be able to get the deny. Able to hit it. Wow, that two neutral denies. One of them not intended, certainly.
Yeah, Meepo is dead for a while. Wow. Well, miss micro happens to everybody, even the best of Meepo players.
A lot of pressure in these
it's usually just not in a scenario where there's no pressure on you whatsoever.
Fair enough. I mean, at the end of the day, that's not going to decide the map. It's going to be the other movement around the side. But well, Chappie, he's building towards the Dragonlance. I imagine it's much the same build. Do you think that with an early Blink Dagger they'd be able to make stuff happen, or do you try and go for like the double Dragonlance and go more farming intensive?
I haven't seen a double Dragonlance since the Dragonlance got that little bit of a nerf it got. So I think it's still Dragonlance.
Oh, they're actually going to turn on to King R down bottom and finding a kill. FN trying to get him down, and it looks like with the rotation in, Jarek's going to be able to get another X combo. They find the Sunstrike kill. Jarek's making the plays. Ghost Stick still chasing him. They have another one of these spark rates going out. Ghost Stick is going to fall, but he takes one in return, so it's 2-for-2 exchange.
Yeah, this is what Arc Warden really excels at, is getting those kind of team fights where he just he's the extra hero on the field that just kind of cleans up. Because there's two of them, he's got double fluxes, double spark race. It's so much magic damage, and early on, you're oftentimes not going to have the force staffs or healing mechanisms required to deal with that. So, great rotation by No Tail. Opens up some farm for S4. I say that though, but it looks like he's just going to die to Chappie and Miposhka.
Yeah, no way out of that one. Doesn't quite have that level 6, and meanwhile the bottom line, Empire pick up another kill, this time on to No Tail. The Arc Warden is going to drop, so after that initial couple of deaths on the side of Empire, they're coming back with strength.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like it's going to be a very fast hand of minus for No Tail. And he just lets himself get picked off like that.
In the meantime, Fly still getting a good amount of farm for himself. You take a look at these other supports, and been able to keep up with them at least to a large extent. So OG doing a good job of spreading out the map. The big problem is going to be the Meepo and how they deal with them as Ghost Stick. Doesn't look like he's going to be in too much trouble. Him and Ogre is going to hold hands for Flux.
Yeah, that's the part I liked about their laning phase. They just stuck together all the time. You know, they pretty much held hands in the laning phase to make sure that Flux was never an ability that No-Tail could use. So he looked really lackluster in the laning phase because of that. Against solo offlaners, though, situations like this, it just makes Flux look like a really OP ability. You just can't move for like 4 seconds.
A lot of damage. Jerax is going to be able to get out of this one, but there's the X combo. They take him down with the Fade Bolt before they can get the full assortment of damage out, but there is still going to be a Cold Snap as well as a Grave Chill, and managed to find that kill. Fly picks it up.
Invoker's still top net worth right now, so he is keeping pretty good pace with the Meepo. Both have gotten... Actually, Meepo died to neutrals and only got an assist, while the Invoker does have 1 kill in his name from a Sunstrike, so that does help out quite a bit.
I mean, you also have No-Tails getting closer to the Midas, so it feels like these cores are going to just scale naturally a little bit better.
Yeah, I think, I was trying to theory craft it out. I think OG's lineup can play a lot slower than last game because they can reliably go late game.
Going in for this one now. They're on top of the Arc Warden, and No-Tail is going to fall here. Also, interestingly enough, you got Rubik who's able to steal max level Spark Wraith. Ghostic not quite going to die there.
Get him range
double. Looks like Ghostic will be able to escape. But that's a pretty nice little pickup for the Rubik as well.
Oh, absolutely. The Rubik, King R's been doing a lot here. He's moved around the map. He had his level 6 pretty early. Picking up that Spark Wraith, he can do a lot of different things with it. It could just be an extra nuke where he uses it with telekinesis for the guaranteed damage. He could set up a trap somewhere. You know, those Spark Wraith traps.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new version of Techie Mines. It's so annoying. You're just like, oh, whoops, I stumbled a little bit too close to the trees, and now 5 Wraiths are chasing after me, and I'm going to insta-die. Chappie, you okay there?
For Meepo.
He's having a hard time with Roshan bashing shit out.
Roche very upset at things, and you can see he's not quite able to take it yet, Meepo. Needs to get that level 15, I would imagine. Lifesteal comes online at that point, and then it becomes a breeze to take it down, particularly with Troll. Next couple of minutes, we have the Blink Dagger done for Meepo. Where do you look for? Is it only the Arc Warden pretty much, or?
No, there's a lot of different pickoffs that are worth it. It's just, again, it's about what opportunity presents himself. I would normally look to smoke, push out about now, get any one of the cores, and maybe you can turn that into a Roshan kill. You're usually going to try and play the top half of the map as well with this first rotation because you want to be near Roshan for that opportunity. Even if they kill Centaur here, though, I don't think it is good enough. And S4 does have the correct read. TP's out before the rotation can come.
Very good decision there, and it does also look like they're going to be able to secure themselves the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane. So all in all, OG doing a good job of making these map movements that are punishing the group up that we're seeing from Empire now after the newly minted Blink Dagger gets there for Chappie.
Trade Tier 1 across the board. That's much better for OG. A lot more value in the mid Tier 1 tower.
This is the other nice part, being able to X back the... Oh, no, okay, he's just Xing him. Thought he was going to TP. Just Xing for fun. OG seem to be having themselves a nice game.
Eventually we will see that, right? The Boots of Travel, X TP around, so he can both send Tempest doubles as well as himself around the map just to push out lanes. Do funny Arc Warden things.
Yeah. Talked about the Midas there. It's already been completed. Can spam that.
I don't think they should show too many heroes here in the bottom lane, because as soon as like Arc Ward, the real Arc Warden shows at bottom lane, as well as S4, they should immediately do Roshan with Empire. I guess they did have the Visage Familiars in there, so they kind of feel like they have enough heads up to make the TP rotations, which they're doing now.
Yeah, they are going to move into this area. Lead is up for the Centaur as well. They're going to throw out the boat right at the start. A really big combination. Oh, God, but now S4 gets another stomp there. The epicenter is going to be enough to find the kill onto him. Everybody else on the side of Empire is very low, though, and does look like they're going to back out for the moment.
It was like both the ship as well as the Sunstrike were just a little bit too shallow in that Roshan pit, and Meepo's just sitting there on the back line. He would have died. If he got hit by ship and Sunstrike, there's no way he lived, but Jarex takes a step too far forward, gets caught. It's now 2 heroes down. The Villiers are also refreshing right now, so this should be free Empire.
Rubik also stole the boat in that last fight as well, so
Ooh.
You have a lot of extra damage mitigation on Empire you wouldn't otherwise be able to have.
Another ability that combos pretty well with telekinesis. So give the Meepo Coco's Rum. That's really annoying.
I really like what we're seeing here out of Empire. It's the same style of Dota that we had in the last game, and I don't know if I like OG's draft as much this game as we saw last game. Last game it felt like it was very focused what they were trying to accomplish. This game it's like we're going to get really farmed unless there's something else that I'm missing here.
No, I think there's similar objectives here for Empire Game 1 and Game 2.
Another big stun that comes out, and they are going to be able to bring down Mapushka fairly low. He is going to die to that meatball, but call it off now. Empire's going to back.
I think the difference is that Troll is a better secondary carry going later on to the game for Empire, so they have a little bit more of a plan B, but I still think a Meepo draft is ultimately a Meepo draft, and it's centered around him. And then OG is a little less active. You know, the last game, if they have the same kind of heroes, there's no way that they give up Aegis like that. Right? They would probably win a team fight for
Jarek's quick thinking. Will X himself back, and then afterwards just go for a TP after the boat, staying alive.
Rotation down to bottom lane, they want to try and catch Ana with Ghost Stick. He doesn't have his Blink Dagger yet, but he looks like he's got the positioning.
Going to be a TP after the... Oh! He guessed right, too. Oh, that hurts. And now up here in the jungle, oh, they almost got him. No tail.
Sentry too. Oh, come on, guys. The Ghost Walk is gone.
Oh, no.
Ah, man. Just a little bit faster, maybe.
It was a close almost kill as well on the Arc Warden in the jungle by Meepo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they almost caught no tail.
Maelstrom is the first Arc Warden item pickup that really does give you a lot of pushing power and really speeds up his farm quite a bit. It's like a Radiance on Alchemist or Naga Siren. Finally gets the right clicks. A lot more viability in clearing through creep waves.
Looks like another group up for a smoke as well. And, well, maybe not. Okay, everybody's just going to head off the other direction. They said they don't want to smoke at that point. Can you use the Maelstrom to also fight, or is it pretty much just exclusively like...
No, it's also a fighting item. It's like when Furions pick it up, right? You do a lot of right-clicking in team fights, so it's value both to split push and clear through waves, as well as giving you extra oomph in the fights to come.
Still a bit of an awkward spot here for Jarex. Not quite going to be able to get ran down, but they have the Sunstrike and the kill off there on Mapushka. Again, going to drop. So,
the life of an ogre. Bloodlust things and die a lot. And you just gotta, like, when you're an ogre, you just play the front line constantly. Anybody makes a rotation towards your heroes, they should always have to go through an ogre first. Because who cares if you die? You're a walking bloodlust machine, you know?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, the hero's just not changed all that much in the time since that's sort of been the case, and he used to be that way.
He's big, dumb, and derpy and enables others. What he does.
I mean, there's worse things to be in this world.
True.
Jarex, again, going to be the one that possibly gets jumped on here. They steal the Invis Rune away, lift up, stealing Gush again. Now they found another. They're onto the Visage. He's going to drop. The boat comes out. S4 and OG maybe are going to overstep their bounds a little bit, use the Stampede, but they've been able to contain and now bring down S4. Are back at it. They've got the Aegis ready to go. Hana's on top of him, but now they've caught him. Chappie's there, is going to be able to bring down this Invoker. So 3 dead for OG. Maybe, well, that's actually just going to be the Tempest double. Still getting off all of these summons.
And it's familiars, right? It's like a half an extra hero. That's an extra 200 gold, so. Chappie, maybe a little bit of hubris, and I thought he was going to be able to get the perfect tornado to make sure that Chappie couldn't blink forward as he ages, but that was actually wrong. He does get the original Meepo to blink forward on top of Ana, gets the ensnare that ensures the extra kill. But there was pretty quick reaction there from Jarex in particular. He actually made it to the first life of Chappie, only traded for a visit. Similar to last game though, OG should not be they shouldn't be discouraged by losing a team fight because that was an Aegis fight. Much like losing a Global Silence fight. It doesn't mean that you're actually losing the game. It just means that there was a brief power spike for Empire. They took advantage of it. And, well, I'm not going to say OG should go out and fight because I think with this Arc Warden hero, they still want to farm.
You know, something I just also noticed, the magnetic field being laid down to defend the towers. I think that's what the Troll Warlord was meant to do, was be this tower-taking hero where you don't have to put yourself in danger. But if you lay it down, obviously you don't want to stand in the magnetic field if it's laid down behind the tower. So that allows them to defend their towers a little bit better than they would have otherwise, because, you know, you can't siege safely as effectively.
Yeah, when it comes to pushing high ground, it's particularly annoying. You already don't want to go very deep into the base. You'd much rather siege from a range form. But if that does get thrown down, then you have to go into melee form, and you probably have to go a little bit like forward, even like further, just to be able to get into the bubbles. So that is going to be very obnoxious for Empire to deal with. But hopefully, if you're Empire, you're not in that scenario.
Right, exactly. And this is one way to make sure that you don't end up gaining that scenario. FN going to drop it. He pops the BKB, turns the fight onto S4. They use the Stampede stolen by Rubik to run down the Centaur. And the rest of OG says, we need to get the hell out of Dodge. They're going to be able to Hex and, well, not really do much more to that Tempest double, but good play.
Yeah, 6 steal from King R. Man, he's Rubik. He's so good. I forgot about that ESL 1 Manila game until you mentioned it.
Showing off again here and almost to the Blink Dagger for himself.
They really need to start carrying Dust or a Gem on Ghost Stick. This is the second time that they have walked away from the potential kill on Ana.
And now they lose King R because of it. So, I mean, they might still end up losing the Rubik there, even if they do decide to go fully on Ana, but yeah, it's a tough one.
Initiators, get counter vision. If there's a possibility that a hero on the enemy team could go in Viz, you should have vision for it.
I mean, Ogre has it. He's you know, he runs around fast. Well, this is going to end up running into some issues here.
He bloodlusts himself and runs in fast so he could die quicker. Yay!
It's a sad life. Oh, no.
Ogre's going to a field trip to the underworld. Yay!
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's sad. I think that the hero is like, it's great when it works out, and you have some games where he makes an impact. He's like, he can, you know, say I bloodlusted, I won mid for my mid player, but more often than not, he just ends up dying a lot. He's the one that needs the respawn talent. Does he have one? That would be amazing. Can you imagine like a level 10?
Oh my god, I would probably shoot myself if I had to play that Ogre in a pro game, and I'm just like I don't even get the breaks of dying. I'm just always dying all the time. It would be, that'd be the ultimate Pilot Die hero, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no!
Dying. Oh, the turnaround. S4 on top of him, bringing down Chappie. Is he gonna fall though? The meatball is sure to make it happen. Still FN on top of that Visage, takes him down as well. Epicenter didn't really end up doing all that much in that fight.
The famous words of Admiral Akbar.
Yes, indeed.
They laid out a Meepo trap, man. That's what you got to do. You got to lay out Meepo traps. I mean, he kind of looks like a rat or a mouse, right? So,
yeah.
You just got to set out these mouse traps occasionally.
Would you care to explain, for those of us that are less informed, the full extent of what a Meepo trap consists of? Like,
it consists of baiting out an important hero, right?
Okay.
It has to have some real cheese on the trap, you know?
Okay, I gotcha.
You have to bait out something good. So in this case, Invoker looks pretty good. You would usually like to have some sort of saving mechanism so you don't lose that valuable hero. So like a Dazzler or something would be super nice, but here it was just a good Force Staff play. And it was pretty quick. He turned around as he got Scythe of Ice and initiated on, and then they Force Staffed him out of the way of the nets. So that was kind of their saving mechanism. And then counter initiation, which is usually some sort of Blink Dagger hero. That was the Centaur to be able to get the big stomp onto all those meepos. Blow them up.
All right. And I guess that's the way it works. Make it work. Sanjinyasha's done now as well. The BKB there for Mr. FN himself.
Lyrical, as Ben Wu likes to say, for veggies, teamwork makes the dream work, baby.
Teamwork makes the dream work. I like that. That sounds like a Ben Wu-ism.
Yeah. 5-man smoke up past the creep wave. OG are playing defensively. They're going to, you know, just throw Jerix into the holes. It's kind of what, you know, like that was kind of intentional, right?
Yeah, no, totally. You let him die there. It takes the gank, and, you know, the worst things have happened than losing your Kunkka at this point in the game.
Yeah, he's 20 seconds. Not too long until he's back.
Although they might be able to take Roshan in that. No, they're not going to go for it. Yeah, seeing that TP, and they realize immediately they can't actually do it. FN going to finish farming for himself.
They have a lot of those, what the hell are they called? Spark Race sitting there in the Roshan pit plus the Visage Familiars, so.
I think that OG have done a really great job of maintaining that. That's one of the things, too, that's so cool about Spark Rate. Last 50 seconds for vision at no cost. And when I say cool, I say unbelievably annoying.
Cool. Is it cool, though, Lyrical? Is it? I mean, at least it doesn't last forever like it used to. Like, you just lay a crap ton down. And
this is the trap you're talking about.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Meeple stumbles in, and he actually just dies to the trap itself. Like, no heroes involved. Just Spark Race and Visage Familiars are probably enough to kill one of those Meepos. They're going to smoke up. Spark Wraith activates on FN. They ping that out.
Yeah, they realize now. So that should signal to OG there's a smoke coming, and they're just going to back out. God, the Spark Wraiths are so good.
Yep.
Man.
Warden.
I mean, people have been saying that he's garbage, though. Like, is this hero kind of bad, or?
I think we just haven't fully realized how to play this hero. And because we haven't realized how to fully play this hero after the nerfs, it also means we don't know whether or not the nerfs are effective or where Iceberg needs to buff or nerf the hero. Okay. So it's just kind of an unknown right now.
Looks like a quick take of Roche with that ulti. Ana's going to get the lift up now on a Ghost Stick. Does have the Bro Strike away. He's still getting hit by the EMP. Also the Cold Snap. He's down inside a vision of that Sentry. Stampede was also popped there.
Yeah, I think S4 was thinking either there was going to be counter initiation from Empire as that Sand King died. So maybe he felt like the team needed a backup after they got that kill. Another thing is I also don't think Arc Warden fits the meta very well. Pretty team fight heavy if you look at it. Full committal by multiple heroes, it kind of ignores Magnetic Field and Flux and those sort of things. He's much more of a split pushing and individual pick-off hero. If you look at many of the cores that are run right now, they're all very effective team fighters. Invoker, SF, Lifestealer, I guess in some ways Ursa. These are the cores that you look at that are pretty popular right now. Magnus.
Well, I mean, and Cappy, you're talking about it, though. You've got still, though, the very low cooldowns, which he has been able to build into slightly. Like the Tempest double, it's going to be always up a little bit. So in some ways, if you can make it work, and if you're able to get that tempo moving more quickly through some fashion, there's a place for him in the meta, and that's possibly what OG are trying here.
Yeah, and also maybe... Again, I do think OG is sitting so pretty in the group. Like, they won this first game against Empire. They beat a Meepo strategy when they were a little bit behind. And they've got 6 points already that they're probably thinking, like, we can kind of, you know, mess around. Not mess around. I don't want to say that because it feels like OG is disrespecting them or something. But I do think that they want to try out these some of these strategies that they've employed in scrims that are more experimental in officials and see really how it feels to them. Like how, like No Tail's getting good information about like how it feels to play an Arc Warden and like what are some of the good and bad things.
Yeah.
Kind of flesh that out a little bit more than you already had.
I will say that Empire is still, we're talking in some ways as if OG is the ones controlling the game, but it feels like Empire are actually the ones that are doing it. You've got Ana that's very far up in the net worth, has his Aghanim Scepter and is building back now towards the Octarine, but you do still have a fairly substantial lead into the favor of Empire, and if they won one big fight with the sheet stick down on Meepo, this type of thing, you could see a really huge swing into their favor and taking objectives off of it.
Yeah, I do still think that OG has better late game, but I don't think it's very clear cut. Empire should still feel like maybe it's a 60-40 past 45 minutes. Because Meepo usually tops out at like 35-40, depending on how well you farmed. So after that, 45-50 minutes usually where Meepo's strategies start going downhill. But going past that time, I think it's always kind of 60-40 to the favor of OG. It all comes down to how well Ana plays on the Invoker, honestly.
Yeah, and I guess the other problem is he doesn't have that Lincoln Sphere. It's going for the Octarine, as we mentioned, so there is going to be this vulnerability. Also, King R ended up picking up X marks the spot for himself now, and is going back for an Aghanim Scepter. Already has the point booster done. If he gets that, there's a lot of good spells to steal in this, particularly thinking about the Invoker, all of his kit.
Yeah, if he could steal Stampede, super good steal. Boat would obviously be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, the group up vacuum ghost ship that it does, but I'm not sure what else past that, really.
I guess Visage Familiars. I don't think he's ever going to steal the resummon, but
yeah, I don't think so.
So.
If that ever happens, that Fly probably messed something up.
Chappie waiting for these birds. We'll be able to not get them as the resummon comes.
Jabaited. Wasted 2 precious seconds of Chappie's time. Got him.
Get owned.
Yeah, I mean, that's the mindset you got to be in as a support. You know, it's the little victories, Lyrical. It's the little victories. You got to be like, yeah, that guy killed me 5 times, but I wasted 5 seconds. Yeah, what do you think about that?
That's great. I love it. That's any little thing to throw your opponent on tilt.
Yeah, I mean, that's just like, you got to have these little mindsets about as a support player because you know you're just lesser. You literally are just lesser of a person,
oh my God.
of a hero. I'm not saying as a player, but I'm saying like if you think about it, right? Like as the game pushes to like 35-45 minutes, the percentage of your impact versus Core's impacts, right? So you're just lesser of a hero, and so you got to be like, you got to look up at those giants on the other enemy team, those guys with like 20,000 plus net worth, and you're shaking your fist at them, and you just got to take the small little victories that you get.
See, I don't know what you're talking about. When I play Wisp, I have a big impact when I relocate into the enemy team.
By yourself?
No, with my carry.
Oh, so you suicide him.
Exactly.
I got you. That is a big impact. Maybe not a positive one, but...
Jarek's over here, going to drop the boat. They scout it out, realize they could be there and good.
Not again!
Oh, I mean, again, from our vision, it looks like you should be able to get it, but clearly blind.
Yeah, I mean, that guy, I'm saying not again because, like, that guy just... That's twice now he's come so close.
Yeah,
he's just
totally.
like... That's like, he's a foot away from the enemy. He's like, you know, less than 100 range.
Wishing he was Slardar.
What are Dota measurements, by the way? What do you call it? You just call it range?
A range. I like the range. You have 100 range. That sounds right, but it also sounds incorrect.
Yeah.
Tier 1 tower going to drop in the top lane. These objectives have just sort of passively been falling throughout the game. It feels like OG have just been keeping the lanes pressured. Arc Warden is starting to keep the pressure on now. Going back for the Dragon Lance as well.
Meepo's going to deal with it, but kind of feeling like maybe... I know Ghostic doesn't want to show too much on the map, but I do think he occasionally needs to pop out and push out one of these waves. He just did that mid, so he does kind of agree with me. Good opportunity, though. They just pushed out top. As long as they don't get caught with this Meepo.
Oh, Chappie. Yeah, all right. They bring in the rest of them.
All right, they're good. Poshka's going to trade TP out. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, look at this guy. Taking a lot of DPS from Flux, but it's not going to be the death of him. So, able to escape. Empire, it was starting to look good for a little while, but now, again, those gears, they're slowing down more and more as the game goes on.
I think they're about to get a good opportunity. They were grouping up earlier like they wanted to go for a smoke. They just killed the Tempest double. And Meepo doesn't... the problem is he feels so threatened by this and an Invoker. Like, right now would be the ideal time, from what we know, for him to push out top and get that lane going, and they could probably get all the lanes pushed out over the river, and that gives you really good cover for your smoke aggressive gank, right? The aggressive play that you want to be able to make. But he's so scared he can't do that, and if these lanes are pushed in, it does give OG little clues about what Empire's motives are and what they're doing, even if they are off map. Illusion bait.
Yeah, nicely done. And the unfortunate thing, too, is that it's when all of these big items are coming up and you can see, you can just keep spamming out the lanes with no tail. He's pressuring the towers. They're going to drop. Has the Mjolnir proc as well on this melee creep. It is quite hard to deal with this if you're Empire. At some point, something's got to give where I feel like you just need to make that play. Go for it. Stampede used over to the side here. It's going to be a jump away. Nothing really lost with that.
Top lane, Chappie's down to half health, but Ana is going to get caught here.
All right, they've got him. Epicenter out, drops the wall. They're not going to be able to catch him. Oh. Ana still in some trouble. They don't have any vision, though. They have the gem. It's over here to the side. Ghostic trying to get in range, and they have been able to find that Invoker. Now the Tornado comes, trying to make its escape, and the Rubik actually stealing Tornado. The Impi is still down. Chappie dropping low, but not going to be enough to get the kill. And they are going to be able to bring down Ana instead.
Okay, that's a huge win. You've got 80 seconds to control the game, and Roshan's coming up. So they've got a minute to work with where they can, where Roshan is up and the Invoker is not. That's really big.
And right afterwards, the Aghanim Scepter comes for S4. He did have the Stampede already used, which is part of the reason why they weren't able to save the life of Ana there. But now Roshan, did they spot it? Yeah, they did. They spotted it right as it came up. So immediately into Roshan, time to pressure the tower. Do they go high ground with this?
They need to at least take out the outer towers. I think they need to take out the 2 tier 2s first. Because the way I see it is that you don't want to get into multiple high ground pushes, right? All right, we pushed high ground through mid and then go to round 2, right? I wanted them to get such a conclusive team fight, 2 team fights in a row where they just close out the game with one fell swoop, one push, and they take like 2 lanes of Raxes. So I want them to open up those lanes of Raxes by taking those tier 2s. You don't have enough death timer left on the Invoker to force a buyback, so going high ground is really dangerous. So getting anywhere near high ground is super dangerous because you're dealing with a Kunkka. Kunkka, Arc Warden, Invoker, those 3 heroes are notoriously good at defending those cliff areas.
And I mean, Empire still have room to grow on these heroes, a little bit at least. You've got, the Force Staff, which is on the Ogre, but not quite in his inventory yet. OG, try to set a trap here. This would be really good if they can make it work. They do spot out Ghostic over here to the south. The smoke, they still could go, but not wanting to try it. Yeah, and it looks like Empire just got quick eyes on S4 there as well. So both teams understand what's happening.
Question is, which one of them is going to break? One of them is going to decide, all right, we're not doing this and back away.
Oh, Ghostic, get fresh. They're all in vision. They have been able to take out those wards. Torn is going to miss. But now the vision possibly a bit more into the favor of Empire here. Well, not really. There's still a ward up here on the high ground that is going to expire in a second for OG.
I think it's Empire should back away. This is they're fighting into really dangerous territory.
There's a shrine here.
There's a shrine. The tier 2's up. There's a lot of potential for buybacks and TP rotations back in for OG. So that's that's them offsetting the extra life for the Meepo, right? So I don't think the Aegis is an advantage if Empire take a fight in that area. So they should try and reset and get a better opening. It looks like they actually want to go through the secret shop area with this smoke and catch them from the left-hand side rather than just going straight down lane.
And look at FN. They're all here, and he's baiting this out. It is just the Tempest double. You want to get more than that with this kill, and it looks like they might be able to do it. Fly is the one that's showing right now. If they can catch him at the very start, it'd be huge. They have the vision placed down as well from this ward over here. The boat is going to go out, giving everybody a lot of run buff. Chappie getting contained. They've got the X onto him. What's the answer? How do you get him out of here? He's going to end up dropping, but they will still have another round of the Meepos. There's going to be the counterplay now. Rubik stealing away a spell, and looks like they're going to try and go for another round. The Meepo, it's going to drop. They're going to be able to kill off Chappie. He is dropping oh so low. Is it going to be enough? They have taken him down. FN also in trouble. They've killed off the Sand King. Going to be able to run down Maposhka in a second. Jarex has found FN. The hoof stomp, the right clicks, the punches. Empire's dreams evaporating before our very eyes.
Ooh, good defensive play. Once again, OG with the 4 staffs. You know, like that initiation all gets spoiled because Jarex gets off a really good 4-staff save combined with the boat. Totally stalls up their initiation with the smoke play. They also had the positioning wise, right? And I think OG had a decent idea of what was happening there, and again, they kind of threw out one of their supports to be the one that kind of tanks the gank. Now, it's going to be OG's turn to try and force something, see if they can force the buyback out of Empire, and then just retreat, especially if they can get this tier 3 tower as well. Unlock those shrines.
It's still, God, it's so hard to deal with for King R. He did finish off his Aghanim Scepter, so they will have that at the very least.
Wow, it's kind of surprising. For this early in the game, Empire are valuing their buybacks more than their Raxes. And I think that's a very mature decision because I agree with them.
Yeah.
It sucks, but I think it's the right decision. They are just, now you've lost a lane of Rax though against an Arc Warden. That makes everything worse for you, right? Just like we talked about earlier with the Naga Sirens, similar setup.
And Jarex is also going for his Aghanim Scepter as the Kunkka.
Nice.
What?
I mean, you got the AoE combo with the Invoker and the Centaur. You might as well. Like, I honestly don't know what Kunkka builds late game besides Aghanim Scepter, you know? Like, maybe he gets a Blink Dagger or Boots of Travel, but I don't think Jarex is thinking to himself, like, yeah, I'm going to have enough farm to build it into right-click damage, you know?
Right.
I don't know what support Kunkka does outside of Ags.
Yeah, it is a little bit weird. Like, maybe some other item, like a Pipe or a Lotus Orb. I feel like those are usually the jack-of-all-trades type of heroes that pick it up, but yeah, why not? Just you need to win the fight with this hero. That's what his job is. You've already got the lane push that comes out with Arc Warden, so anything else that helps you win the fight.
It is inherent in the hero, but I do believe FN has been a bit unlucky. I've watched, I have not seen like a good bash for him, but I've seen plenty of opportunities where he has not gotten a bash that would have gotten it.
Right. Look at this too, the double sheet stick from the Arc Warden, always a menace. Now that he has it completed, become a larger and larger problem. And it does feel as if maybe this window that was opening is really heavily shut. You take a look at the graph over the past couple of minutes. My word, it is
not pretty.
So there's just going to be a jump forward on a very aggressive, and Chappie, they'll take this one for free. Oh, Tornado lift up, but FN is on top of him. That is going to be a kill, and a little bit of Save Your Buddy syndrome. It's just going to be the Tempest double that was there to try and save the day. Not going to end up happening. So Invoker goes down. Okay. Can they make something off of this?
Man, that's like deja vu.
Right?
Hana died that exact same area last time by trying to get too over-aggressive on a Meepo. I don't think it matters too much. Like, OG, they're still going to be able to keep a whole bunch of lanes pushed out with the Arc Warden, and there is still enough kill threat from the rest of OG members that Empire can't super split up and push out all 3 lanes. Probably going to try and push out 2. that'll be one lane that'll end up staying on the Radiant side. That'll be top, it looks like.
Well, it definitely feels like Empire has an idea of where they want to go. FN
Maybe
is
they can go high ground.
Yeah. I mean, they're pressuring it. They don't have everybody here yet, but they will in just a moment. And with Epicenter up, if they could take down this tower and start building the lead there, we talked about them securing the other. They're heading towards the tier 2 bottom. Maybe a little bit of indecision.
I don't blame them. Yeah, approaching that high ground is super scary.
Yeah.
30 seconds with an Invoker down, and they don't want to approach high ground despite being right next to it. God, that's OG's lineup right there.
Chappie takes so much damage too when he just gets hit on, and that was even, you know, with only the, it wasn't with Buck's damage even on top of him. Our Gordon is severely farmed this stage.
You know what else is severely farmed? This troll is really scary. If he gets on top of you, and he gets that one bash that he needs, he can swap out some things. It looks like he's going to be swapping out. I thought he was going to go for the Scotty, but instead he's going to swap out the SLI for a Titanic. Get a little bit more sustain. I think that also makes sense because he has to deal with a lot of magic damage that's going to be coming his way that he can't always deal with the BKB. So he's always going to have something that kind of gets in his way and brings him down to below half HP. So he needs a way to recover from that. Also, just to make sure you don't get bursted. So tanking up a little bit more is nice.
Well, I'm still feeling like in spite of the heavy lead that you have into the favor of OG, almost 7,500 net worth, you win one fight with this lineup, you get the OG in a bad position, and suddenly you're able to take down the base incredibly quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Meepo with Troll's Battle Trance, yeah, buildings will just disappear.
I'm wanting to go too far forward here again. If they can hold out and just somehow find that perfect fight for themselves, that's where you end up winning the game. It doesn't matter how well OG played throughout the whole course of it. If Empire are able to find that and take down those objectives. Next couple of minutes, how do you feel like OG want to try and play it out?
Very slow. Just control the game. They're doing what they need to. Top and mid lane are pushing in right now. Get bottom pushed out. Build up that Octarine on their Arc Warden so you have even more split pushing power, and just wait for the opportunities to present themselves where Ana can just blow somebody up, or Jarek has caught someone out of position with an X marks the spot or something like that. It's Empire who have to have more of a game plan naturally.
Scepter, Torrent, a little bit off the mark. They are still going to be able to contain and kill off that Sand King, so Gem down and Aegis done. Still do have buyback on the Sand King, though.
Yeah, he's got buyback. He also has a really low death timer. Yeah. Because the minus 30-second respawn time at level 15. He wants that level 20, though. 120 gold per minute would be nice for a drawn out game like this.
Good man. Does so much damage.
He hasn't gotten his level 25 yet. I'm kind of interested. Does he go the magic resistance? Because I think you normally don't, but
right.
It's a late game at hope.
It might be worth it. Yeah, totally. Your BKB charges start running a little bit low. He's down to 5 seconds at this point. You can survive through it. He still is going to get kited, but wouldn't necessarily blow him up every time. Do you have any other 25s that have come up? Meepo obviously has gone for the 400 health again. Yeah, we'll still wait to see what that troll is, but possibly the final countdown for Empire.
That was my final countdown.
I liked it.
Thank you. Yeah, side Octarine. There's like still a lot of growth in OG.
Oh. Wow, that was really close. Still a lot of growth in OG, though, you say.
Yeah, it's just like you don't need to rush things too much, though. They're moving fast across the map trying to catch Empire right now. They've almost got him.
Oh, they got the X. They pulling him back in. The boat as well to push him. Chappie finally going to get caught out. Buyback is going to be there, but it hurts to have to spend it.
Most certainly does. That's what we were talking about, right? Like, just split push and like get all the lanes pushed in until you see an opportunity like that. And once OG spotted it, they moved real quickly to catch him out.
Now, here's a question. Base race. Is there any chance that we see that happen? Like, could Empire try and keep this bottom lane pushed out and just say, screw it, we're going to be going for the tier 4s? Is that something with this lineup that they could aim towards?
I don't think Empire's experienced enough to be able to make that kind of call.
Okay.
You have to have a lot of experience and a lot of understanding of everything that's going on in Dota in order to make the call for a risky play like that. To just, you know, oh, it's all TP bottom, let's just go for the base race, you know? So more often than not, less experienced teams will just stick with what they know, which is team fighting.
Well, there's going to be another pullback. The X marks the spot, able to keep that Centaur alive. Tempest doubled, still doing some damage. No BKB popped as of yet from FN. Might need to use it now as he's out of mana, but not deciding to go for it. Instead, Sunstrike coming in isn't going to be able to quite bring him down either. So OG maintaining control of Empire's base. This is just a catastrophe to walk into. All of the Tempest doubles, throwing out the Spark rates, and S4 gets a hoof stomp onto 3.
No follow-up though, that's okay. Like OG just focus on the racks. Oh, Ghostic actually went in with his epicenter.
He's gonna die from that one. FN is able to take down the Tempest double again, but this is Meepo still dead for a little while. They also are gonna end up losing King R. Everybody is dropping inside the base, my goodness.
Chappie now jumps in. They've actually got the boat out and perfectly controls that one Meepo. They're going to blow it up pretty quickly.
All right, Chappie's going to end up falling in just a second. Ghost Scepter not able to keep him alive. Buys back immediately. Needs to get back into the fray, though. Can they bring down Ana? Right click's coming in from FN. It's not nearly enough. Fire Blast is low. It's going to be able to bring him low, but that is just the Aegis. No Tails Tempest double is still there. S4 with the hoof stomp. They're going to keep control and keep running at Empire, who just do not have the answer that they need. Tornado lift up and Sunstrike to strike them down. Chappie is gone, Ana unstoppable, and it's looking like OG are ready to dive fountain. They don't give a damn anymore.
Yeah, there's just no way FN by himself can be the damage dealer to push back OG, so they're just going to dive into this. Fountain doesn't matter, force the GG. And the Meepo pickers are down. Empire trying to pick Meepo twice against OG and are slap boxed down pretty quickly.
OG maintain their perfect streak through Group A. I don't think that anybody is surprised.